Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood. I'm here with Jackie Katzman with her movie, The Strangest New Feel. Let's take a look at the clip.
It might be over soon.
Where you gonna look for confirmation? And if it's ever gonna happen,
It might be over soon.
Jackie, I
Yes.
am so delighted to have you here with us today.
I'm so delighted to be here. I'm like so delighted to be here. You
Well-
guys are so nice, and I mean, I know I keep telling you over and over again that like New Filmmakers LA is like the best festival group of people ever.
Oh my
It was just the last night's experience was incredible. It was, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a more soulful, positive, open-hearted experience. It was just great. It was truly great. Like I said before, I couldn't sleep all night. I was so excited. Yeah.
Do you know what? I just want to let you know, in the 3 years I've done this, I
Yes.
feed into the question of how did New Filmmakers make you feel? And my first question normally is tell us about your film.
Yeah.
And the fact that you just, that is why we do what we do, but that's
Yeah.
such a, I mean, you know, I already feel so connected to your film and you
thank you.
inspired so many people. And I feel like we're really, everyone is seeing this right now. It's like, I want to see this film. This is amazing. But no, Jackie, that's really stunning. I'm so pleased that
No, it's the
you know,
truth,
it
yeah.
made you feel that way. Let me tell you, your film moved us amazingly.
thank
You know,
you.
and I think it moved people that may have gone through that, that may be going through that, may know someone who's going through that, or at least
Yeah.
have the empathy of what that person may be feeling.
Yeah.
So anyways, we want to talk about your film. For those that haven't seen it, tell
Yeah.
us a brief synopsis of your film.
It's about a woman who's heading into middle life, middle age, and she is desperate to have a child. She's longing to have a child. She sits in parks in her free time watching kids play, and at the same time she's caring for her elderly mother who is dying.
Yeah.
And so it's really about this woman's journey in like a humorous way as well,
Yeah.
to try to get pregnant, to
Yeah.
try to be a mother, and sort of like the strange path she takes
Yeah.
towards that. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you captured it so well as a writer. I know how you did all these roles: a writer, as a director, as an actress, which was an incredible performance. Like, it was so moving. I felt like your heartbeat, and I just felt it so strongly for how you just were making us feel, and showcasing the character and what she's going through. Now, you know, you're touching on subjects as well that, like,
Yeah.
you know, we're really in a world now where we need to speak up more about how we're feeling.
Yes.
And for certainly, and not to mention, there are many women that are going through this, and many women that have got parents that are, you know, come to a certain point in their life
Yeah.
as well. Where did the inspiration come for you in deciding to create this amazing story?
Yeah, it was very personal. I mean, you know, I was wrestling with at the time. I'm still working through it. That you know, deep longing to mother and to be mothered,
Yeah.
and have those two things meld together. You
Yeah.
know, that feeling of like, who am I in this world if I'm not someone's mother, and
Right.
who am I in this world if I'm not someone's daughter?
Yeah.
And you know, because my mom has been sick, and she's in her late 80s, and I know I don't have that much time with her left,
Yeah.
and but still like wanting her to be my mom, you know,
Yeah,
like that
of
little girl
course.
part of me, like desperate for that, and coming to terms with like that I might not ever really fully have that with her too, and then also being a mom to her now, you know, like how the tables turn.
Yeah.
And then when your parents are older, they become your child in
Yeah.
a certain way too. and then I was inspired by, I heard Jane Siberry's song, "Love Is Everything," and there's a line in there, take a lesson from the strangeness you feel, and hence the name, and hence like it just tapped into that thing of like feeling so strange, and so I kept repeating that as a mantra, like take a lesson from the strangeness you feel, take a lesson from the strangeness you feel, and that lesson was, well, I'm going to tell this story in a certain way. That's not necessarily like totally my story, but what if a woman is pushed to the extreme of like desperation of wanting to have a child? Like, what are the lengths she'll go to? And can I tell it in a way that's not alienating? Can I tell it in a way that's hugely vulnerable and revealing and funny, you know, like having a lot of humor in it? Like, cause I'm very much inspired by, like Fellini was a jumping off point for me, and how Giulietta Messina, like in all his films, were, you know, could lean towards the pathetic, like her characters, and yet she was so funny, and you loved her, like in Nights of Cabiria, and like the rawness that she had. So that's where that was like the jumping off point. It's like my own personal life, like wrestling with that.
It's amazing. I think there's nothing more powerful, and many people, particularly in independent filming, there's nothing more powerful than being able to kind of almost take your own personal experience and put it up there for everybody else. But what's so incredible is when you share your personal story or things that are personal to you, you put it out there to the world, and then it sits with them, you know, like people that because I think one thing I wish they taught this in school, that one day your person you may be tackling with as a teenager is you're going to be the mother to your mum, and no one prepares you for that, you know, and then that need as to wanting to be a mother, and then the fact that you might, you know, you're going to be, you know, your mother's at a different age now, you know, that's a lot to go through as a human, you know, and everyone's going to go through it. You know, that change, that turnover. And I think what's so great about your film is that it's so personal, but it resonates with so many people out there, and at least makes people think about what that could feel like and have empathy with it. No, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, listen, you know, there are challenges when you're taking on one role in a film. Yeah. You took on a bit more than that. Tell us a bit about that, like, that experience, you know, from a writing perspective, from almost like acting out your own writing and directing and producing. How does that work? I mean, is it just, is your head all over the place? How does how do you feel?
Yeah, like I thought it would be all over the place, but it was like the greatest experience ever. It was, and it all made sense to me. It makes sense that, you know, that I wrote this story, this very personal story. And for a second I thought, well, should somebody else direct it? And then I was like, no, this is a story that I could definitely tell, and I could tell it in a short film. And so I took that step, and then I took the step of being the producer on it. And then I knew I wanted to act in it too, because I came out here almost 20 years ago to be an actor, and you know, it's been a great struggle out here. Trying to get auditions and be seen, and I waited around for people to give me things and give me a chance. And then it's like the awakening of like, holy moly, like I will give myself that chance.
I love that.
And I will do that with this film. And it was so freeing because I wasn't acting for anybody else. Like when I've been in front of the camera before for other directors, I'm always worried about like, what will they think, or am I pleasing them? It's like, I'm so codependent in life, and I always want people to like me and all that. And this was like, you know, I am going to please myself. I am going to be in it, and I'm going to go deep, and I'm going to be brave. And then I will edit it, and I will pick what I like from it, you know.
I love it.
And so I just say to like everybody out there, you know, don't wait around. Like, do your own thing, and nobody can stop you. You know, that's I feel so strongly about that, and that everybody has these stories to tell.
It's amazing. You had some. So, what I love as well, like you said, you had these extremely touching moments, but you brought humor to it as well, you know, as much as you possibly could going through those things. And I think what I love as well is that, you know, some of your performance, you know, you just took us there without even saying anything as well, you know. And just when you're sitting on that park bench, you just, you know, how do you sort of, you know, when you're taking something that's personal to you, and you know, and you're acting it out, and you're there in the environment, you know, how is that experience for you, you know, as an actress? Because you really went, like you said, to some vulnerable places.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you're an actress, you're ready for it, and it's personal, but how is that feeling taking on this role, and then seeing yourself up there, you know, after creating this project? What does that feel like?
Oh, it feels amazing. I mean, it feels incredibly vulnerable to sit with other people in an audience and not only watch this thing that you wrote and directed, but like you're the person in it. But I love that vulnerability. I want to be vulnerable and to expose myself.
Yeah.
And so
It must feel a great release, like, you
It
know, like
is,
I've
it's
just made this, and then
Yes.
and then last night, of course, we'll go on to about the reaction last night. But one thing that I think is also wonderful as well is that, you know, you've made this incredible film, but you've left the audience with something. What when you were writing this, you know, did you have any sort of feelings, what you wanted your audience to feel, or how you wanted to feel about certain things, or kind of some sort of morality that you had about it? Because, you know, you were touching on subjects that people have and do and are going through.
yeah, I mean, I think it's, you know, people feel alone a
Yeah.
lot of the time. You know, there's a great deal of loneliness in this world, and I've experienced it, and I've seen it in my family and my friends, and I think the great thing about cinema and film is that, like, you can go see something and not feel so alone. So that was part of it. I hope that they could be left with a feeling of tenderness towards others and towards themselves. You know, it's that whole thing of people say of be kind because everybody's fighting a great battle. And this is just a little glimpse of like someone's battle, you know, and that no story is too small.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear your story, you know, I want to hear people's stories. Like, God bless like the epic movies, but like that's not the journey
No.
I want to see. I want to go and see. I want to see a very human journey. And so if people could just come away with whatever feelings they have about this film, but that they feel something, and that they were drawn in. You know, I
You
leave
did
it to
that.
them. But
you did
yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
I not joking. I think I was speaking. So two of our guest speakers were completely moved by your film last night. One of them I was speaking was the actress Penny Johnson, and who just made everyone stand up and
She's
said,
so great.
"If you were born." And then your film followed. It was like almost uncanny and perfect. We were speaking last night, when you can move someone in a short film genre, and make us so affected and alter us by the time we've gone in to the time that we leave that movie theater, which you did in your film.
Thank
That's
you.
an incredible feeling, you know. And both Nigel Daly and Penny Johnson were completely moved by your film and said, everyone must see this.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
everyone must see this. What is that feeling like? You've got these, you know, amazing guest speakers. You had an incredible crowd at New Filmmakers LA last night. What was your feeling last night, being at New Filmmakers LA and having it screen? What was that journey like for you? I know you kind of mentioned a little bit.
No, I mean, I've been telling everybody, I wrote this on all social media last night, that it was truly one of the greatest nights of my life so far. Like, truly one of the
Holding
greatest
onto
nights.
the pillow. I'm sorry. I'm just like, what?
I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, I'm not gonna be cool and be like, yeah, it was okay. Like, I had a good time. Like, it was like, I needed this so badly, and you guys gave me this gift.
You gave us the gift.
I don't
Let's
know.
please
I
remind
mean,
you of that.
Yeah, so it was incredible, and the audience, I mean, it was packed. It was like like a 500 seat
Yeah.
house? So it's like a 500 seat house, packed. Everybody was so there watching these films made by and in support of women, and and then it's like beautiful theater, and then you're in this lobby too that's gorgeous, and there's like an open bar and
Open bar.
open bar.
Gotta have fun, right?
I
It's
mean,
your
that
night.
alone is like a selling point. Yeah, and then you guys, I walked in, like from the moment I walked in, you guys were so great and kind and supportive, and
Lovely
so yeah, like it seems like you, yeah. So
Well, I'm lost for words. I don't really know how to follow that, but no, honestly,
Truly.
that means a lot to us, certainly new filmmakers, and why we've been going so long. Now, last night I had a slight added emphasis on it. Every single year we celebrate Women's Independence Month, and every single month we celebrate female filmmakers, but we wanted to highlight this particular month, which is why we had United Nations there for women and women in film and women and film and all these amazing organizations.
and your
yeah,
film,
and
time
then
to step, time to
yeah,
step
and
up.
so just in curiosity, like we also launched the Time to Step Up movement for men to
Yeah.
support women in film. How did you feel about that?
I love it because I feel like it's a call to arms in a very positive way. You're not like putting it out there in a shaming way. You're not saying like, men shut up, men like, because there's some stuff out there like just be quiet and listen, and like that's fine, but I think I like this more, like, hashtag time to step up, for men. I mean, for everybody, but for, like you said, for men specifically, because it's an encouraging thing to say and to do.
We can do it together, right? We can make changes, right?
Yeah, and that we're in community. It's not
Yeah.
like, we don't have to fight each other on this. It
Yeah.
can be a miraculous thing, and it makes so much sense. I mean, because we're not, like, we don't have to define ourselves by our gender. We can define ourselves by being like a human being or a soul or whatever.
Humans supporting humans, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
And in that case, then why shouldn't there be more women
Yeah.
in positions in Hollywood and making their films and being funded? And so
100%.
Yeah.
What is next for you?
next for me is a few different things. I have a TV pilot that I wrote that's
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a 1 hour dramedy. I'm producing with Vicki Jensen, who's the director of Shrek and has another film coming out soon.
Just the director of Shrek. Just
Yeah.
something like,
Just that. That's it.
Only one of our favorite films of all time. It's fine. Just, yeah.
Well, she's great, and she and I optioned the life rights to this actual PI in Hollywood, who's this fascinating woman. So I wrote the pilot for that, and it's out to some people right now. And then I also wrote a half-hour comedy pilot about a guy who's forced to move back to the commune he grew up on.
Oh, wow.
It's very funny, more wacky. And then I have a feature that I want to shoot by the end of the year called Hummingbird. And that's a romantic comedy about a bulimic woman. I want it in the same sort of feel and style as my short, of like rawness and long takes and mixing the pathos with a lot of humor and uncomfortability.
You're busy.
Yeah, so that's the one. So but that's my goal, is to get everything in motion to shoot that by the end of the year. So,
Well, I mean, you I think we can go as far as saying New Filmmakers LA is kind of obsessed with you and your work. So you're in the family, obviously, but we're so grateful to have you, and I can't tell you how many people came up to me moved by your story. And so please keep us up to date with all of your storytelling.
I will, yeah.
And because you are very inspirational as well as a great talent. Any filmmaker out there, you kind of have said it, but there are filmmakers out there that don't know how to start or begin, or if they're entitled to do something, or if they've got the skill set to do something. What one piece of advice do you have to close with that you've had, or maybe you've got?
I think the biggest thing is just get out of your own way and don't listen to the negative voices in your head that we all have, because that will keep you from doing everything and anything. so like turn the volume down on the negative voices, and just know that like if this is coming to you, if you have this idea and you have this story, it's not by accident. Like you're supposed to tell it.
Yes.
And you can tell it, and it's not that hard. It's people tell you it's hard, but it's not. I mean, it takes perseverance and focus and love. But it doesn't have to take huge amounts of money. I didn't take a huge amount of money for my short. There are ways, and don't wait around for people to give you anything. Like, do it yourself. Like,
do it yourself, and
Yeah.
don't wait around, and get out of your own way. I love
Yes.
all those things that you said. Jackie, thank you so much. We can't wait to see much more of your work.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been such a pleasure. I have to say again, like truly
Please.
New Filmmakers LA, like anything that happens from now on, I feel like you guys have like conjured it for me. Like you'll see.
I
You'll see.
genuinely need Kleenex right now. I'm just letting you know. This is too emotional for me. This is beautiful. No, Jackie, thank you so much. We are so grateful to have you, and you make us happen. So we're grateful for you. So
Thank
you,
you.
and we're looking forward to seeing
Thank
much more
you.
of your work. Please come back to us.
I will. He has
Yeah.
the most amazing eyes, right? His eyes like.
Thank you,
get
Mom. I
the-
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks.